Gentlemen, ladies, babies, nobody in bees, let's all have a seat. Let's have a seat. Let's have a seat. Y'all look good. Zakia? Can someone tap Zakia for me, please? I know it's time for our wife to get to work. Shaniqua, can you do that for me? Yeah, it's time. It's time, sis. How you doing, Z? Good to see you. Good to see you. You ready with Ciera ready? Okay. She got theme music. Let me get this theme music going.
You are now tuning into AMFM live from Working from Fulton Market at the Hoxton Hotel. Please welcome your hosts, Ciera, Alyse, McKissick.
I fell in love again. All things go. All things go. Drove to Chicago.
You guys are a beautiful crowd tonight. Hello, Chicago! Oh my gosh, I'm going to get emotional. It feels so great to be back here with you all tonight. There's so many familiar faces in the crowd. I've got my friend Claire up front. I've got my mom. Oh, I've got Kristen Kaza in the back. Oh my goodness, my boo. Hello. Yes. My name is Alyse McKissick, and I will be your host tonight. I'm the founder of AMFM, which is an arts platform that supports emerging artists in music, fashion, creativity. We support them all, pretty much interdisciplinary practices. We've been doing this stuff for all over the city for the past decade. We're really about keeping people in tune with the amazing work that artists are doing, not just here in Chicago, but in the nation and also around the globe. So if you're not following us on social media, please make sure that you follow us at AMFM Live on Instagram and sign up for our newsletter. We primarily emphasize BIPOC artists and uplift their work. This is something that we want to do to promote diversity and accessibility. This has always been and always will be a priority for us. Thankfully, we're working with great partners who believe in that as well, because in 2025, it's pretty hard to come by. So shout out to Working From and Red Bull for their support. So glad to be back at Working From Fulton Market at the Hoxton Hotel for season 2. We've been doing this for a year now. Yes. Working From is a membership-based co-working space here at the Hoxton Hotel. You're sitting here in one of their main lounges. It's cozy, it's got good vibes, it feels homey. It's the perfect place to work away from home. It's pretty comfortable. I mean, you could take that Zoom meeting, but it's not so comfortable that you can be like business casual on the top and like have your underwear on in the bottom. But it's the closest to comfort that you will come to in the co-working sphere. Pretty much has everything you need. It's worth the investment for the snack bar and the bottomless coffee alone. There's meeting pods, there's shared offices, a patio, and other fun perks that you can tap into as well, like the pool. You can tap into a cocktail bar, and also there's a wellness studio. Raise your hand in the crowd if you have a side hustle. I know there's plenty of you guys out here who have a side hustle. Pretty much like me, if you run an arts platform on the side or enjoy hosting live talk shows in your downtime, or maybe you edit films, or maybe you create content after your 9 to 5. There's a couple of different tiers for memberships that are based around your business hustle needs, so definitely tap into them. You can definitely get some sort of day pass, so if you're not ready to commit just yet and you want to try it out, or maybe you need that extra push just to get that project done, the day pass is something that you should definitely look into. So if any of this caught your ear, make sure you check out one of our Working From staff members in the room to see how you can become a member. Okay? Make sure you do that. If you couldn't tell by now, I love the Hoxton. And I'm not just saying that. Hashtag this is not an ad. You know how Beyonce's Beehive goes to every concert, every tour? Well, I'm in the Hoxton Hive, and I want to go to every Hoxton. I recently went to the one in Florence at the top of the Mun, and I swear, it was the most magical and memorable experience. The Aperol spritzes, the courtyard, the architecture was unmatched. I actually learned how to make pasta, and in Italy at that. It's way better to make it and taste it when you made it with your own hands. It was a simple red sauce with pasta, but after living in London for 9 months, anything tastes better than beans on toast, I must say. Sorry. Yes. Tonight's show is a homecoming for me. You guys are low-key the first people I've seen in Chicago. It feels like I literally just walked off the plane into the green room. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little afraid to fly. Like seeing all of these plane crashes, and our pilot even told us that we were gonna experience turbulence for about an hour of the flight. And yeah, I've been flying solo since I was 5 years old, so I have never been afraid to fly. But I sort of was a little unnerved. I felt a little bit like Gayle King at the end of the flight, I gotta say. Yeah. Yeah. I felt like I see the ground. The plane was shaking. It was a lot. So I splurged a little bit on the flight because if we're going down, I wanted to go down in economy premium with extra leg room. So my wife and I moved to London for grad school. We both got into master's programs. Yes. Thank you. If you tell someone in London that you moved there, the first thing that they say is, "Why did you move here? The weather is shit." And then they apologize because British people are so nice and polite. And then the second thing that they ask is, "How are you finding it?" And I'm like, "Finding what? The sun? Kate Middleton? The seasoning?" I'm still looking, definitely. And I'm still sussing it out, honestly, but I'm so glad to have gotten out when I did. The UK may be a bit gray and a little obsessed with tea, but at least it's the sunken place with an accent, beautiful architecture, and $3 eggs. You know, by the way, I do have some eggs in the back if anybody wants some. I might have to charge you a tariff, though, so. People in the UK love talking about America. If they aren't asking you what you think of Trump, they're asking you if you own a gun or calling Chicago Chirac. I will never forgive Spike Lee for making that movie. Seriously. People really are afraid to come to Chicago. But I'm way more afraid to stay gay in Florida than I am of getting gunned down in Chicago, where I can be my most authentic self. It truly is a sanctuary city. But shout out to Chicago, though. I'm so happy to be home. It's Expo. We have a great show. We've got visual artist Lindsay Adams, who paints, yes, for Lindsay, who paints dreamy and delicate abstract paintings inspired by liberation and freedom. We've got the genre-bending producer and DJ FINGY. We've also got Chicago's bespoke fashion designer and creative director, Sheila Rashid, in the Hoxton. We have a special guest DJ also on the deck tonight. Everyone give it up for ShamPain Wishes. You heard ShamPain on your way in, courtesy of our partner Red Bull. ShamPain Wishes is a great DJ and sound selector. He's from St. Louis, which I have a special place in my heart for. Mars, how have you been?
I've been good. Busy, but good.
Sound a little skeptical. I'm glad.
Yeah, I just don't get enough sleep these days. But I'm good.
Same. So can you answer me, riddle me this? Like, how did you come up with the name ShamPain Wishes?
All right, you
You
did
know,
ask
personally,
that.
I'm more of a Prosecco girl. Like, you go Prosecco Poppy. Like, it doesn't quite have the same ring to it. But tell me about where you got your DJ name from.
Well, my lady loves Prosecco, so that is fitting. But ironically, one of my favorite Spike Lee joints is 25th Hour. There's a toast in this thing where he says, "Champagne for my real friends, real pain for my sham friends." Around the same time as when Kanye, before he lost his mind, he had "I'm So Appalled," and he says the ShamPain Wishes line in there, so it ended up being my Tumblr page.
Okay. Shout out to Tumblr.
It's making a comeback too. Gen Z's back over there if y'all want to be hip. But yeah, I just adopted that. You know, my other DJ name is Police State.
Yeah. We're not bringing those vibes.
Yeah. Not today. I do this for corporate jobs, you know. Yeah, so that's how we got there.
Well, thank you so much for coming out tonight, though. You can find Mars on the decks all around Chicago. He's got a regular gig at Easy Does It called Hella Nice. Our girl Alexandria, a.k.a. Finding Ijoma, couldn't be here with us tonight as she is currently jet-setting around the globe. Looks like we need to bring back Where in the World is Finding Ijoma. You guys are in for a treat. We do have a special message from our beloved DJ.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Alexandria, a.k.a. Finding Pajamas, reporting live from Owerri, Nigeria. I miss you all so much. I can't believe we're already celebrating season 2 of AMFM Live. Shout out to my homie, Mars, a.k.a. ShamPain Witches, for holding it down. I'm reporting just to check in with you all and share with you a little bit of news. I wanted to invite you to an upcoming performance that I have DJing with my homies, Global Currencies, DJ Mochi and DJ Iggy, Westonio, and Gertie Chicago at UMO this upcoming Thursday from 9:30 to 2 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Check out Gertie's and Expo Chicago's links to RSVP, and I hope to see you there. Bye.
Yes. We miss you too, A. Thank you so much for checking in on us. See, guys, we're worldwide. The world is too big. So let's bring out our first guest, who is in fact doing big things in 2025. With a new solo exhibition that just opened at Patron Gallery, an Essence feature, and a solo to kick off the year in Los Angeles. Everyone, please welcome Lindsay Adams. Hello, hello, hello. Let's get the mic, get the mic. How are you feeling, Lindsay?
Amazing.
Yes, there we go.
Amazing.
Amazing. You already, you too. You, can we all hear Lindsay out there?
No, yes, no.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Amazing. You had a big morning already. Like, how are you looking forward to Expo? You had breakfast and tour this morning as well too.
Yeah, so, hi everyone, I'm Lindsay. Can we hear me? I'm gonna cut it off and come. That's to be cautious. Okay. Hello. Thank you. Yes, it's been an amazing day. I currently have a solo show up at Patron Gallery, and this morning we had like a bit of an expo kickoff, a brunch and a walkthrough. It was nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've had a big year already so far. I mean, you're graduating from the School of the Art Institute later this year. You kicked off the year with the solo exhibition, Keep Your Wonder Moving in Los Angeles at Sean Gallery. I think I got some pictures here as well from the show. It was your first time showcasing work on the West Coast as well, too.
And a solo.
Yes, and a solo. Yes, we got to make sure
And
it's a solo. Yes. How was that experience for you, especially working with such a reputable gallery?
Yeah. Insane. Okay. I don't know. I feel like, well, first of all, I'm not going to say it's a big crowd, so I'm happy that I have a friend here that I can talk to without getting a little nervous.
Yes.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
No, it was amazing. I think one preparing for the show. I moved to Chicago from Washington, D.C. Yes. Home team. I moved here for graduate school. And then 1 year post-bac program, and then I did the 2-year MFA. So I'm graduating in 3 weeks.
Yes.
But yeah, like when I was invited I did a group show with Tom Kelly last summer in LA. A collective of mine curated a wonderful show. At the time, there was someone from, I think, St. Louis. Is Mello X from St. Louis? Oh, Brooklyn. Okay, but I think he has like ties in St. Louis. So he curated a sound collab for the exhibition, and it was very cool. I had never seen that for a group show. So I did a group show with Tom Kelly that my collector Michael Summer curated, and then they invited me to do a solo show, and anyway, was aligning with Please LA.
Yeah.
Right? So mind you, I was like, okay, like we're here, you know.
Made it.
I was really not yet. No. but like we're here, you know.
Yes.
But I really felt good because like the book has evolved so much, and like I felt like I was prepared to kind of let this new body of work fly out into the world, and I have been preparing for months. I found out like in last year, so I have been preparing this body of work. And I feel like I had even texted Zakia and Camille like the same day because the title of the show had come to me. And this wasn't even your question. So
Okay.
I was like, not me giving context that wasn't asked. But like, sorry. But basically, titling is very important to me. And I knew that this body of work was going to be important because not only was it my first solo show at a commercial gallery, I felt like I had to come out swinging.
Yeah.
And I had to make sure that the visual and the conceptual aspects of my practice were clear.
Yeah.
Right? So I back to the point, I had texted, I think Zakia and Camille on the same day when the title of the show had come to me. Zakia had done it's like a movement. Like so when I read that caption, I was like, absolutely.
Yes.
You know? And I think the work visually has like really pronounced itself in a sense of wonder and imagination, of which I think is a liberatory act. So like I'm really happy with where it has landed.
No, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about your use of poetics and use of writers in your practice as well too. And you do have a show at Patron Gallery as well right now. It just opened a couple of weeks ago. Several of the titles are after, names from poets. It's actually named after quotes from Black writers, poets such as Langston Hughes. And the title of the Patron exhibition has some pertinent quote from Toni Morrison. So I'm going to quote that here. It says, "All water has a perfect memory and is forever trying to get back to where it was. Writers are like that, remembering where we were, that valley we ran through, what the banks were like, the light that was there, and the route back to our original place. It is emotional memory, what the nerves and the skin remember, as well as how it appeared. And a rush of imagination is our flooding." So what about this quote spoke to you and your work, and how does poetry influence your practice?
Yeah, thank you. So the title of the show is All Water Has a Perfect Memory, to your point, and the essay by our beloved Toni Morrison is called The Site of Memory, of which she's basically tackling some of the conceptual and theoretical frameworks surrounding critical fabulation and the role of imagination to fill the gaps of the narratives that we don't have. And I was taking this art history, I don't know if it was art history, but it was like a seminar last fall called History as Material that my friend Lisa suggested that I take. And this is like one of the first essays that we read. And mind you, just to give you a little context, I have a bachelor's in international studies in Spanish. So I came to, even though I was at visual art before, I studied those things. I'm always approaching my work through this kind of critical lens of reading and research and kind of consuming everything around me. So when we read this essay, mind you, I'm highlighting, doing margin notes, like, oh, like, okay, Tony, like, you know, and I really felt like, I don't know, that one passage was so, you know, I felt it like hit me between the eyes, like, because I know that she was writing the essay from a writer's perspective, but obviously I have a writing practice, but I felt like, wow, like, that flooding, you know, that kind of, and before that part of the essay, there's a part that says that, like, the Mississippi River was straightened, and there's flooding that happens because all water remembers where it used to be. And when I was thinking about that in the essence of my practice in Black geography, I was like, everything that I make, everything that I'm negotiating is about remembering. You know, I'm seeking something that is both familiar and unfamiliar. So I was talking to another visual artist recently about, like, relying on my own practice as a theoretical framework, but something that's also important to me is that interdisciplinary approach to looking at poets, and to your point, writers, photographers, and other mediums, because I think the theory is in the thread of all of our work together, and we're all kind of negotiating and rationalizing different components of memory and place.
Yeah, and I feel like flowers are like a large component of your practice as well, too, when you're thinking about memory, place, and also facets of your identity as well, too. Yeah. I read in an article in Refinery 29, too, that you were very outspoken about growing up with cerebral palsy and how that impacts you, and your practice in flowers were kind of a grounding space for you as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So initially, when I started painting these 4 landscapes, and the work has become a lot more abstract since then, I was thinking about flora through the lens of, like, metaphorically, as the Black, kind of Black connection to, the ancestral connection to land and place. And I didn't want it to be literal, so I thought flora was a nice kind of conceptual link to what land and place might look like. And I originally had a very classical painting style, like a lot of impressionistic marks. Hopefully it's working. Okay, sorry. And when I started to really give myself the latitude to expand the conversation, some of the gestures in the work that I was covering, I began to let that be more exposed. And now when I think about beauty or even psychological landscape, even though, like, when I talk about my work, I don't necessarily lead with my intersectionality. Like, I am who I am, and I'm always going to be that. And the work is the work, and it's also always going to be that. So I often try to separate the two conversations, but I'm fully aware that there is not one without the other. You know, like, I live that every day, you know? So when I think about some of the psychological landscape and the nuance of intersectionality, the nuance of Blackness and womanhood, I think the work gives that latitude for it to be one thing or not, you know? Yeah.
No, that's very real, and thank you so much for just sharing that with us as well, and, like, making this work and making it so intentionally as well. But I would love to play a game with you. It is around flowers as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring out different variations of flowers. I'm going to have you close your eyes so you can't peek, and I want to test your senses and see if you can smell the type of flower or arrangement it is based upon. I picked some simple Simple, noble flowers, yes. So, Portia, could you bring me out? We're
My
gonna.
mom is very
Oh.
specific with her. She's not here, but she's very specific with her gardening. So I hope that
Yes.
I hope I make her proud.
Yes,
Of it.
let's hope that. All right, so I'm gonna have you close your eyes. All right, Portia, can you bring out? Oh, yes. All right, so you'll keep your eyes closed throughout so you guys can see what they are. Let's start off with one that might be a little easy first off. It's not a flower, it's a...
I know it, but like I don't know.
You want to spell it again? It is. You can touch it if you want to, if that will help. Yes. It's they use it in like wellness studios.
I'm gonna go for eucalyptus.
Yes. 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 Yes.
By the way, the key is if you want the scent, you have to you have if you really want the scent to come out, you have to roll it. I didn't know that.
Good to know.
You have to use like a can or something to get the
Oh.
essential
Thank you.
oils out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Does anyone have a roller? No. Next time. Okay, so we got the next one. Yes.
I just had some last week. Lily.
Yes. Correct. Oh, that's good. Lilies are a very distinctive smell. I love lilies. We used to have a lily bush on the side of my house growing up, so perfect. Okay, this is the last one. It might be a little trickier, so we'll see. Do you know? Oh, do you want to smell it again? Do you want a clue? It's a purple flower. It's not lilac, but I feel like it's in the family, yes.
I'm gonna call a friend.
Call a friend. Well, I can tell you what it is. A hyacinth. It is a tricky one. I know. I had to throw one in there. So I would love to, you got to give people their flowers while they're here. So out of the bouquets, which one would you like the most out of them all?
I think I'll do
The hyacinth? Yes. That's for you. Yes. And let me give the lilies to my mom. And then, who wants the eucalyptus? Well, thank you so much, Lindsay, for being here, for sharing your work and your story with us today. Lindsay's exhibition is up at Patron Gallery. It's on view through June 14th, so make sure that you stop by and see this beautiful work in person. Thank you so much. Thank you, Portia. So in between our guests, I like to give some highlights as well so you can get to know some of the things that are going on around the city as well. So it is Art Week. It's Expo Chicago in the city. That means that the city is taken over by exhibitions, programming, parties, and the fair itself. Expo is now under the Freeze umbrella and officially kicks off tomorrow. So make sure you head down to Navy Pier to experience contemporary art from galleries all over the globe all weekend long. Make sure you stop by Engage Projects booth 241 for your chance to sit on Bad Bunny's face. Artist Edra Soto's newest installation includes Bad Bunny wrapped lawn chairs. I'm not gonna lie and say it's a missed opportunity to have used his latest Calvin Klein ad, you know? Now that would be a freeze frenzy, and it's pretty much the equivalent of duct taping a banana to the wall. There's tons of events happening to celebrate, like Gertie Chicago's opening night rager on Thursday, featuring our very own FINGY Joma. Here's a picture from last year. We also got an afternoon and night dedicated to over 50 open artist studios at Manic Contemporary on Saturday from 2 to 10. Shameless plug, you can visit my gallery, Cam Contemporary, on Friday evening and Saturday afternoon to view our latest exhibition, Harlequin Choreographies, featuring new work by Earl Scott Harris, who is currently completing his thesis at Yale. Also Saturday, you can catch a 12-hour durational performance, a clay sermon from artists the Astor Gates and the Black Monks at the Stony Island Arts Bank. Gates will transform the atrium of the bank into an active clay studio with a series of sonic responses from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. And happening right now is the New City Magazine Breakout Artists Exhibition and Celebration. Congratulations to the 2025 Breaking Artists. The annual list features artists who are making groundbreaking work in Chicago. Shout out to Renee Royale, Brianna Robinson, Dabin An, Andy Christ, Sebastian Bruno Harris, Jake Trolley, Leticia Pardo, Sofia Fernandez Diaz, Marina Ross, and Hope Wang. They're not all pictured here, but it's just a snippet of that. There's plenty of art exhibitions to check out this week, way too many to name, but those on our radar include the tiniest art fair you will ever attend. Barely Fair kicks off this weekend too, which features miniature booths and tiny works. Also got Secret Speeches Masterclass, featuring 65 painting alumni artists from the School of the Art Institute. We've got Resonance, which is a heavy hitter exhibition curated by Lauren Halsey, featuring work by Halsey herself alongside artists like Mika Ling Thomas, Martine Sims, Tony Lewis, Jordan Castile, and more, which opened earlier tonight at Anthony Gallery. There's also a new art center in Fulton Market spearheaded by art entrepreneur G. Green called Sovereign Green. The grand opening is this Friday with an exhibition spanning painting, textile, sculpture, installation, and mixed media. There's a ton of other stuff that I haven't even named that are going on this weekend, so definitely make sure you check that out as well too. It looks like we're going to be running all over the city this week. I'm already tired, but never too tired to dance to one of my favorite DJs and producers. So enough about art. We're going to bring out our next guest. Everyone, please give a round of applause for FINGY.
I said you were right. I can take.
Damn, that's a good song.
Yes. Who made it? Do you know who made it?
Somebody finger thing. I don't know.
FINGY, I am so excited to actually, this is our first time meeting in person.
Yes.
Like I've been a FINGY fan for a couple of years now, like since I found out your music, and we've been chatting on Instagram like finally got to meet in real life. So thanks so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having
excited.
me. Sarah DM'd me like a year or so ago and was like, I played your music at my wedding. And I was like, okay, like little sad wasn't invited, but I was there. So I love that.
You were there. I first actually became obsessed with your work as a DJ. I was going through like a period of burnout, and I was really just coming across your mixes, and the ones on SoundCloud, and particularly the elevator music set was the one that like the energy just was unmatched. It made me feel happy. I was listening to it like every day while I was riding my bike, my elliptical and stuff during the winter, and your selection is just so eclectic, and you kind of have like this sound that surpasses like genre, like age. You have a wise ear, I would say. So I think that when I saw you at Do Division, that was like what solidified it, because you had a whole crowd of people, even like an old man dancing, and it was just fabulous. So I have a video of you from Do Division.
Oh my God, can I tell you guys something so funny about this? So this was the only time I did this, but I got on 15 minutes and to sound check, and sound was not working. It was only getting noise, and it absolutely was not going to work. But I recorded my practice the night before and ended up just pressing motherfucking play. And there's a clip of me like running over to the photographer being like, I'm faking this all.
Oh my gosh.
But
Like,
it was my mix.
I mean,
It was
looked
my
like
mix.
it. Well, I have another clip of you from that elevator music set, and you definitely were not faking that one.
No, that was real. That was actually my first time ever using CDJs. Jordan Martin taught me about 10 minutes before. So if there's anything that happens that sounds wrong, it's because it was my absolute first time ever doing it.
Yeah, no. Elevator music is a really cool concept too. You DJ inside of an elevator, and it opens up, and people can come on and dance with them as well too. I think it's so cool. So, yeah, I really would love to chat with you. Like, you got into music because you went on a deep dive on Spotify. You were discovering different genres of music. You came to Chicago actually from Los Angeles to go to Columbia to study like audio engineering and whatnot. Can you tell me a little bit about your journey into music?
Yeah, I mean, music started when I was 5 and I took a hip hop class. And I took hip hop from 5 to 14 and then taught from 14 to 18. So that was really my introduction. I started making beats when I was like 15, 16.
Wow.
And then finally, I mean, I had a father who was in the film industry and my mom who was also just in LA. So they encouraged me to, you know, be artistic. So I came to Chicago. And then I interned at Classic Recording Studios.
Yes.
And that was kind of my gateway into learning about Chicago and serendipitously finding out that house music was born in Chicago. Yes. And I mean, with the most humility, Chicago has been the absolute teacher. I love where I'm from, but Chicago's given me space and platforms to do this, but has also educated me so thoroughly on the history and the significance of all these native sounds to this city. And I love Chicago.
No, we love Chicago too, and it definitely is. It has so much rich history, and not only music, but just culture in general. So during the pandemic, you worked on your first project, which was Taste Test, and you know, a lot of people were baking bread and doing stuff like that, but you were out here making, you know, an EP. So how else did you spend your pandemic? Were you going to like virtual dance parties and stuff like that?
Yes. There was a lot of live streams, and I submitted mixes for those live streams. There's this amazing artist, Cobra, who I found out through. She's from Sweden, and she was doing like performances at like 6 a.m. her time, which was our time, and I was definitely taking part in that. But I mean, I gotta be real, I had it easy. I was a sophomore in college, so I already had freshman year. I was living with 3 good friends in a loft, and we lived across from a Jewel Osco, so we were fine. I was blessed, and I was nervous because I actually had just DJ'd, because I used to do Ableton sets. But I first DJ'd my first live set at the Avondale Music Hall for Girls Weekend with Tay Money, Nina Tech, Lee Dominique, and so forth. And that was maybe 2 days before COVID, and I thought I was going to be a DJ and it was all going to happen, and then it all fell apart, and I was disheartened because I thought I lost some momentum I'd gained for about a year or so, and pleasantly surprised, I put out this project. Vocalo put my song on the radio for the first time.
Yes.
And or Vocalo, I don't know, it was COVID, I was inside, no one's talking about it. Yeah, I was making beats and having fun.
You have a new project out, though. Let's shift gears into how your sound has evolved. You said we're tight, me and making music. You said that, and it's a dynamic that's constantly shifting. Yeah. So I feel that shift in your latest release. Like, your sound is different, your look is even different as well. How did you approach this project, and how has the reception been? The album is actually called Forgive Me Indefinitely.
Yes, the album is called Forgive Me Indefinitely. It was... it took over, 3 years, and if we really think about it, technically 6, because a song I'm going to unpack later started technically in 2019, but I was going through a lot. I was like thoroughly in love for the first time. My father had declining health and ultimately ended up passing, and I was, going through a lot of, I was 23 too. I don't know how y'all's 23 was, but mine was something, and this was just kind of me locking myself in a room, also trying to prove to myself that I was like a capable sound designer, and really trying to like hone in on my sonics. And I made amazing friends at that time as well, who were also phenomenal artists, Cici Maravilla, Heart Gaze, and they really taught me a lot about music too. And this project in itself was, essentially a perpetual forgiveness to me and to everyone else who is maybe deals with guilt complexes and not showing up the way they'd like to. And yeah, I gave myself space and time to do it, so that's why it took so long. But it came out, and it's a little emo, but it's also super beautiful and awesome.
That's how it should be. I feel like artists who really take their time, we live in such a time of instant gratification, especially when it comes to musicians, and people being like, when are you dropping the next thing? When? Taking your time and letting it simmer is always super important, so I'm glad that you had that time to do that. Yeah. I do have a clip here from your video, Broke the Bank, which you made stringing together clips from hanging out with your friends. It almost a little bit looks like an indie model shoot from a magazine or something.
Yes.
Like that. So
Marjorie Matamoros, remember the name, Honduran raised, New York based. That's Cici Maravilla, who changed sound for me forever. But yeah, this is our music video. It's really amazing. Marjorie, it was also I had a handy cam and recorded a lot of parts of the summer. And Cici and Marjorie are moving to New York, so we're trying our best to capture this Midwest early 20s fever dream of kids just having fun and being themselves and figuring themselves out in the midst of it all. It's very close to my home and my heart because this is all my footage of me hanging out with my friends, but it's been cool to hear people receive it. My hairdresser texts me, she's like, I cry to this all the time, and I'm like, Kelly, you're 42, what do you mean? But I guess it hits.
Yeah, it is definitely a fever dream. Make sure you check that song out. A little bit later, we're going to have FINGY come back and show us a little bit about how they do music production and the behind the scenes to one of their songs, Neck Hair, on their new album. But before you go, I would love to ask you some questions about Neck Hair and dive a little bit deeper into your psyche in a game I'd like to call What Makes Your Hair Rise?
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and then you'll say which one makes your hair rise more.
Okay, T.
All right. So, scary movie.
Which one?
Which one makes your hair rise?
Insidious 2. Why are they in Britain?
All right. I've never seen it before. Should I?
Oh, it's
no?
freaky. It's good. Okay. It's good. Oh, all the crosses are on the wall. Go. Oh my God. Okay. That one's good.
Ghosts, aliens, or AI?
Ooh, none of them. Can I talk real quick? Ghosts, spirits, period. Spirits are all positive. It's nothing but light. If it's a ghost, it's just concentrated energy of human trauma. Okay. Tap in.
Yes.
Aliens. Yes. Aliens are real and they're coming here to save us. I will die on this hill. Don't listen to the predictive programming propaganda, okay? They are here to help. Keep your heart open. Lead with love. And then AI. We're either going to enslave AI and then they will rebel and kill us all, or we will give AI autonomy and let it take over to the way which feels authentic for them and live in harmony.
Okay. Yes.
I think, y'all. I think.
Don't get left behind, guys. Embrace.
Right.
Okay, the next one. Food that grosses you out.
Oh, it used to be applesauce. That was a textural thing, but I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and now we're pretty good. I think also food that I used to be so picky. I used to eat spaghetti and hot dogs together.
I ate spaghetti and hot. I feel like that's SpaghettiOs and hot dogs.
It's a good source of protein, but now at this point in my adulthood, if it's got seasoning, I didn't grow up with a lot of that. So now that that's in my life, anything that's seasoned well, I'll eat it.
Did you grow up in London?
I grew up in Los Angeles. My friend would tell me that if I were a smell, I'd be Lowry's seasoned salt because that's the only one we used. But I'm growing up.
All right.
I'm growing up.
Creepy.
Y'all having a good time? This is so fun.
Creepy animal.
Creepy animal. Well, I wouldn't say this is creepy. I've always loved hippopotamuses because of Madagascar, but I just learned they're the most dangerous animal, and they're
evil.
cousins with dolphins who are rapists.
Yeah. Oh my
God. I wouldn't say creepy, but I definitely say I'll keep my distance.
Yeah, dolphins seem like such a happy, sweet animal, but
I
they're
know.
not.
They
They're
really
not.
come off that way, don't they?
No.
They stay over there. I stay over here.
Okay, this is the last one. So, what's an everyday thing that you have a fear of, but you have to do, or something like that?
Oh,
that you
every
can't-
day. Ooh, going on the CTA. No.
That works. Checks out.
No. If I'm gonna be real, let's be real because I've been so silly, right? But if I'm gonna be real, I think I've always had a fear of being in spaces and taking up spaces that I should not be in. And that's a lot. Coming from a little white kid from the Hollywood Hills, coming through to Chicago, making juke. That's crazy and needs to be done appropriately. So I've had a lot of fear and a lot of imposter syndrome of like making sure I'm showing up correctly.
Yeah.
But you know, I try to work with it every day and transcend it. And I thank you for allowing me to occupy this space.
No, of course. I think you're doing a good job. Definitely.
you.
No. Yes. If I give it up for FINGY, thank you so much for being here. So make sure you check out their new EP, and if you're lucky, a live DJ set. FINGY makes and plays great music. So stay tuned later for a live production breakdown of Neck Hair. It's going to be powered by Red Bull after our fashion highlights. But enough for that now. We're going to get into our fashion highlights. No, we're actually our music highlights. That's what we're going to get into. So, producer and drummer Eddie Burns has teamed up with singer Sparkle Mommy yet again for a new single just in time for spring. Crank is a fun area and the perfect feeling yourself anthem. The first two teamed up for the single Touch, which was released last month under Eddie's other project called Les Sons du Cosmo. Sparkle Mommy has been praised for her unique sounds and fun visuals. We've got a clip here of the Touch video.
First time I see the flower, it will look just.
Let's see if we can get sound on that. Hold on. You got sound on that video? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So, make sure you check it out, then you can actually hear it online. It is a good song. All right, so certified rapurian Roy Kinsey has released a new album and book, Dandelions, Gods Don't Cry. He just celebrated the launch last Saturday with the listening party and book release event at Tala Gallery in Good Funk. We've got a little clip of BTS he shared of him rapping about the misunderstood flower, and hopefully that audio works as well.
First time I see the flower, it will look just like the sun. Swear there was so many in the field where I was from. Swear there was so many in the fields where I would run. I would snatch a handful up and bring them to my mom. After about a week, older kid said that was a weed. Grabbed my chest like Sanford, like no, it couldn't be. I would stop choosing them from what was said to me till I realized that was what they used to say about me. The roots and dark spaces we go through. The ghetto's tight spaces we grow through. Came back home on new land, they patrol you. Wing stretch long, show you better than I told you. Wait, mirror exercises, I've been looking at my face. Reciting me, I love you every time I got treated a different way. But I always got my way, got my dandelion tatted. That's the message for this day. Okay.
Yes, and that's that piece. Roy Kinsey, who is by day an actual librarian, has also launched Raprary. It's a library project committed to preserving rap as a literary art with the collaborations with the Chicago Public Libraries. You can learn more at www.theraprary.com. Singer Clarice is dropping her first EP on May 9th called Patient on Me. She says it's for anyone who's ever felt tender, vulnerable, and lost, and having the courage to try again to be a better you. Formerly known as E. Woods, Clarice is using this EP as a reinvention. We've got a clip of her song My Body here. All right. So make sure you check out that album when it comes out May 9th. She has a headlining show at Sleeping Village on June 21st as well. You can catch new music and news from local Chicago-based artists and musicians from our radar every Monday on our Instagram page for our Music Mixtape Monday feature. We also highlight new drops and trends in fashion on a weekly basis. I'm going to shout out our next fashion guest, who is always dropping something fit-worthy and innovative, whether it be beauty salon-inspired clothing collections, special coffee collaborations, sports prep attire. Everyone, please give it up for our next guest, Sheila Rashid. Yes. I almost wore my leather pants today, too. Would have been twinning. Sheila, welcome to AMFM Live. Thank you so much for being here. How has life been?
It's well. It's going well.
It's going well?
Yeah.
That's good. I was in London, and it was actually my first weekend there, and Freeze happened to be going on. And visual artist Lauren Halsey was having an after party for the big Serpentine show. And I was congratulating her. I was chatting her up, and I looked down at her shorts, and I was like, oh, your shorts are really dope. They kind of look like this designer from Chicago named Sheila Rashid. And she was like, these are by Sheila Rashid.
That's
So
cool.
it was just like this perfect slice from home, especially after just moving there. And it's just a reminder of how deep Chicago culture is and how far your like work has been going. So I was glad to see it. You have a distinctive style for your designs as well. You like to say that you're low key, but you do get the people talking about your culturally specific designs. You started out making t-shirts in high school, then you shifted to dresses and overalls, and your career really catapulted when you made the chance to wrap your overalls and were doing them. They were all over the place. But I would love to have you talk a little bit about your journey as a designer and your early beginnings and how they shaped where you're at now.
Yeah, I mean, I started in high school. I was hand painting on T-shirts. I was inspired by Bape and ice cream. And I would just like draw things out on T-shirts and then hand paint them. And that was just like a thing that I would do for myself and for my classmates.
Yeah.
And I just knew from there I wanted to just go into fashion design. So after high school, I went to Columbia College, Chicago for fashion design, where I went for, obviously, to learn how to, garment construction and the history of fashion. Didn't make it that far, and so I dropped out and was pretty much self-taught after that.
Yeah.
Interned for a local designer. His name was Horacio Nieto.
Okay.
And it was just like cool to see how he worked and how he put together fashion shows. And from there, I knew that I wanted to to put together my own collection. So I was ambitious. I did like a 30-look collection.
Okay.
Right. And I did, yeah, it was like crazy. I incorporated the shirts that I was hand painting, but I also was doing things from scratch because I was really big on wanting to make things from scratch. So,
Yeah.
I just did like harem pants, dresses. I was doing all kind of stuff, and then I had like my first fashion show for that 30-look collection in Pilsen.
Oh wow.
And like the city came out, and I was like a
Oh,
cool
wow.
moment. Like wow, it was packed. It was a small little photography studio space, but it was packed. So it
Yeah.
was cool to see that. So
Well, that's
after
a
that,
testament.
went to New York, and then That's
Yeah,
all, that's
the rest
story.
is history. Now
Yeah.
you're back. No, seriously, take the tools that you need. A lot of artists are self-taught and being able to, tap into that education and then make it into this grand thing that you're doing now is really, really impressive. I know that overalls are a staple of yours. I personally am grateful to have gotten a pair of Sheila overalls in AMFM pink, but I'm curious how you were able to kind of pave your way from being known for those and, shift and make things and constantly reinvent yourself because you don't want to get pigeonholed into something. Your new collection actually features tennis aesthetics, and I really feel like tennis is having a moment right now too, definitely. But it's elevated in a sense of it's Ivy League prep also, so it's a little bit more than sportswear. What made you want to center and showcase the sport, and how did you choose to elevate it?
Yeah, I think I'm really big on storytelling, and this was a story I wanted to talk about because I do watch tennis all the time.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not a professional, I'm a fan, so
You're like,
right. So, I'm watching Serena before she, retired. That was a moment. Then we have, Coco Golf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a fan. I'm like, I just want to tell a story about. I just wanted to do something like to highlight that sport. You know?
And I think that storytelling is a really big kind of component of your practice. I feel like each collection or design you come out with is noticeably inspired by like Chicago culture, Black aesthetics, denim or craft. I got some more images here as well too. This is from 2024, your Good Hair Day. I think you're wearing the t-shirt right now. It was inspired by salon hairstyles. And then in 2023, you had the Destroy and Rebuild collection that was inspired by reimagining workwear and really showcased kind of your construction abilities. Can you talk a little bit about how you come up with your concepts and how elements of cultural significance show up in your work?
Yes, I mean, I just always try to think of something that does just relate to me, and I'm from Chicago. This construction collection was just kind of like a highlight on just workwear, and just wanted to bring that together with knowing like Chicago is kind of like a blue collar city. Just kind of make it fashion, make it, just putting my spin on it.
Yeah.
The Good Hair Day collection was literally just like my story growing up. My mom's a hairstylist, my uncles were, like, I just grew up in the salon. So I just wanted to tell that story. But also just let people know when you see Good Hair Day, it's not just about having your hair done. It's about feeling good when you walk out the house. You know what I mean? So it's just like that confidence, like I feel good, I look good, you know, type of thing.
Put that on, for sure. I just also like the construction and the details are like unmatched. I want to highlight some of the fine details so people know the construction that goes into the work, from the intricate pockets to the logo sewn on. What does your process look like these days? Are you still constructing and sewing all of the stuff on your own? What does production look like for you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm an artist first, so yes, I am sewing everything, because I just feel like, you know, I need that. That's just my form. That's my form of expression. Yeah, that's what I do. So, I'm just big on details and just quality. So that I think quality control is a big thing with my brand. It's about exclusivity, and that's why I kind of keep it in house. You know, like even though I do outsource different little things like the buttons, I have somebody make the buttons for me, but all the construction, the pattern making, I'm doing it myself. But
yeah, that's a testament to your craft, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
God.
seriously, give it up for that. Especially in the days of like fast fashion, I think that slow fashion and people taking their time and making original and fresh work is so important. Yeah. So how do you really respond to this in a place like Chicago, in a sea of fashion? It's a small scene, and it's known for its street style. How will you keep your work fresh and original?
Yeah, I think I just try to stay true to my what I would wear. Yeah. You know, I think that's how I design. Like, I make things that I will wear, but also I feel like, you know, what everyone wears. So it's like it's a unisex brand. No. So I don't know. I just try to make things that I feel like is raw. You know? So
it definitely is raw. Definitely. No. I love the designs. So I would love to get your take on some trends of the past and now in a game called Rock It or Drop It. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to show you some photos, and then you and maybe the audience can decide on if you rock it or if you drop it, all right? Okay. So, skinny jeans and skinny pants. Rock it or drop it.
Yeah, definitely probably going to drop that, especially these photos. Nah, we're gonna drop that one.
We're gonna drop it? All right, drop it. Okay.
Crazy.
All right. The next one is flare jeans.
Yeah. We love a good flare.
I love how Kendrick simultaneously sold out flare jeans after the Super Bowl performance.
Yes.
All right, next one. Cowboy fashion, it's all the rage right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely rocking that. I'm loving that trend.
Yeah.
I'm loving that trend.
No,
yeah.
we love it. I love seeing,
It's fire.
people in their hats and their shoes.
Yeah.
When them fans out, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that.
All right, here's another one. New Balance loafers. What do we think about the New Balance loaf?
I'm not rocking
that. It could work in some context.
Personally, I'm not rocking that, but New Balance are comfortable. They comfortable as hell. So.
They look comfortable. It's giving, grandpa style is in. It's a thing. So.
I'm not rocking that. Y'all not rocking that?
I chose the tights on purpose, okay?
I'm not rocking that.
Different
no.
context. Okay. All right, this is the last one.
All right.
The Balenciaga barefoot shoe.
Nah,
Rock it or drop it.
Nah, I don't. Nope. I don't really care for that brand, so I'm gonna say
it's
no.
basically you got your toes out, like you gotta make sure, like a whole foot. I would not wear those around New York or London.
Right, like them in the house all day.
Yes. All right. So that was the last one. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, Sheila. So make sure you stay in the loop with new drops from Sheila on Instagram at Sheila the Designer and online at SheilaRashid.com. But let's see what's going on in the fashion Chicago orbit. So this weekend, also during Expo, the Museum of House is teaming up with the Chicago Fashion Coalition to present ShamPain Show, of house music, fashion, and art on Saturday the 26th from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. The day features sets from legendary house DJs like Lady D, not Lady DJ, live graffiti, art installations, panel discussions, and of course, fashion shows. The fashion show will be inspired by the history of house music over the decades, and they partnered with 5 stylists to curate 25 unique looks from the 70s to today. You can learn more on their Instagram page at ShamPain Show. They're also prepping to host their popular event, Chicago Does the Met, in celebration of the Met Gala, which is on May 5th this year. This year's theme is the Black Dandy. So the coalition will be celebrating alongside it with their theme, Super Fine Black Tailoring Style, at the Stand Mansion. I'm rooting for everybody's black tie attire, and I can't wait to see the looks coming out of this year's gala. It's right around the corner, so make sure you grab your tickets now. Chicago's very own black fashion archivist Ricky Bird and her team recently announced Mahogany at 50, a year-long celebration of the acclaimed classic Diana Ross film Mahogany, which was filmed right here in Chicago. They will celebrate the 50th anniversary of the film with a series of events, including public screenings at the Gene Siskel and the Chicago Park District with an outdoor screening, dinners, talks, panels, and more. Stay in tune at mahoganyat50.com. So you may remember Olu of Progression, if you caught our last episode of AMFM Live, talking about the inspiration and the history behind a lot of his fashion drops inspired by unknown and also speculative black history. Progression recently dropped a new collection, Bessie Aviation School, inspired by Bessie Coleman, the first African-American and first Native American woman to hold a pilot license. When no American school would grant her admission to their flight programs, she went to France and obtained an international license, which is a true testament to never letting anyone dim your light and keep you from your dreams. Progression has released a limited edition collection featuring a flight suit, bandana, trapper hat, and sweatsuit and bag in her honor. As a way to highlight local artists doing the work, the lookbook features filmmaker Ken Marie, C-Knight, and Jay Bemby as class captains of the inaugural class. You can learn more about Bessie and the inspiration behind the collection at their website. We really need to keep highlighting this history even more now to make sure stories like Bessie Coleman and countless others are not erased by the current administration. Black women, indigenous, and queer stories will not be forgotten if we keep them alive and known, and we must continue to highlight the amazing innovation and creativity of diverse voices and leaders from the past, present, and into the future. So now that I've said my piece, we're going to welcome back FINGY, who's going to let us get a special behind-the-scenes look at the making of neck hair. Thank you so much to our partner Red Bull for supporting this segment. Everyone, please give one last welcome to FINGY for a live production breakdown.
Yay. And let's keep the applause going for Ciera and Sheila and Lindsay. And the astounding team that's been working with us all day. Thank you so much. All right, I got 20 minutes, and this was 6 years long, so bear with me. So, neck hair was started in 2019, but right now I'm going to give you a quick little look-see-poo on what it sounds like now, and then we'll dive in.
No more pretend. Oh, I must look within. And when I rest, I lay my head on ice. And when I'm stressed, I put my hand on trays. 'Cause you're the best I could ever ask for. This time,
Okay, sick. So let's go back to 2019, all right? Like I was saying, was interning at Classic Recording Studios. At this point in my internship, the engineers trust me enough to call me in for in-house production sessions. And I made this beat. And for a while, I was sending it around to people. The song as it's put out is called Neck Hair. The original beat track is also called Neck Hair, because this little texture kind of makes the hairs on your neck stand up, and we never changed it. But I have a theory that, I sent this around for a while to people, but no one really picked it up. I think it's because of the bass line. It's kind of trash. It's a little too dark. I'll give you an idea. I know we're not mad, but if we're gonna get into it, it's like the sonic characteristics of it is a bit too a little too textural. It's not giving enough for a lead, and it was, I feel as though challenging for people to slide on. I know I didn't know how to slide on it. So fast forward, it is late spring, early summer 2023. I'm going through my own little time. I knew I liked this beat and I wanted to write to it, but the bass was throwing me off. So I took the bass out and I found this key loop off of Splice. Smoother. I know y'all were like, wait, but it's a little smoother. And to keep in mind, we'll go over here later in the project. I also in the same sample pack, I found a similar progression, but just recorded differently. Can we get house up just a little bit on that? And in context with the original keys, we have this. Cool. So like I said, I didn't like the bass line. And I was also struggling to create a bass line. I made 5. I really didn't like them all. But if we listen very closely to this yellow guy over here, it actually has a little bass playing under it, and there's a little walk-up on it. So what I did was, for demo purposes, I isolated this and focused on the low frequencies, the bass frequencies, compressed it a lot, saturated a lot to give this. Okay, so now we have a running idea of how we want that groove to sound, right? Also in here you can hear that I chopped up these keys just to give it a little breathing room, right? You don't like a beat that does too much, so we gave it some breathing room. So, all right, now we got those keys down, right? Let me take the space out. So I was sitting in my room, in my feelings, wrote a verse, wrote a chorus. Now I'm really about to get into my vocal underwear with you guys, so please be polite. I know, I got a great talking voice. I'm sure you're, enjoying it so much. Singing could be a little better, but I was trying. No more pretend. Okay. Okay. I must. And we got this chorus,
I
right?
lay my head on ice, and when I'm stressed, I put my hand on trust. 'Cause you're the best I could ever ask for.
Okay, if y'all still like me by now, that's really nice. Okay. See, you look right here. It says demo vocals, demo. I have other songs where I'm singing. It's great. But this one, I had to put myself in check. I'm like, I can do a little pop vocal cutie bye, but this was kind of giving like the elves in Snow White when it was not it. So I knew naturally, especially with such a groovy, pocketed track, I needed some jazzy vocals, right? A few months before I was getting these vocals, I came across an artist by the name of Bymaddz, Bymaddz, a phenomenal New Jersey-based and raised vocalist. And I slid in those DMs. I was like, hey, girl, I have this track. Also, I don't know if y'all are looking for advice on, like, creative entrepreneurship, but what I will say is, like, put your ego aside and DM somebody if you think they're cool, Don't make it weird. Don't be weird. So I was like, hey, I have this verse. I have this chorus. If you like it, maybe you could sing it. If you don't, maybe you could sing something else. You let me know how you feel. I sent it to her. She was like, okay, wait, this is kind of cool. So she sent the vocal, the first verse, and the chorus back, and we got this. What I did. Original again. Okay, let's get that guy out. Where's that guy? Go away.
I must look within, and when I rest,
Cool, right? So I got that back. I'm on my phone like, oh my God, this is great. Now I'm like 3 months into making this song. I had more feelings at that time. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to make another verse. Cool. So I record the verse. I send it back to her. She sends it back. Money. We're feeling good. But now let's look into how this was done, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play a bit of the original vocal stem that she sent me. When I play it, you're going to hear off rip at the very beginning and some dead air in between. There is a fan or air conditioning of some sort happening while she's recording. But let's give it a listen, okay?
tell me if this is wrong. Then why is it feel so right?
She can sing. Recording, that was more of a challenge for this project specifically. But I wasn't gonna have the nerve to be like, hey, can you re-record that there was a fan on? That's crazy, right? That's disrespectful. I don't want to do that. So I took the bedroom producer philosophy and I leaned in to the quote-unquote issue and made it something new. Now, to put in context as well, on this project, Forgive Me Indefinitely, there's an interlude that happens right before it. It's a conversation on my back porch with a friend. So what I did was I took a loop. I made a loop of the noise that is happening and isolated it and used it as texture to give the song texture, but also psychoacoustically separate the vocals from the track. So if we give a listen into the interlude.
Would not listen.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, bro, like, where are you? Like.
I think it's cool.
Real? Yeah.
You know?
Keys are reverberant. We're slowly introducing it. Also, if you listen to this on headphones, the noise, this is you listening to headphones, the noise is going through this spatial plug-in that's make it sound like it's going around your head. And now her vocals sound clean because we've already introduced the texture to the brain before the vocals to the brain. So now we're turning this unfortunately muddied vocal into something super clean. So that was like my nerd moment of like, I did that, right? Cool. Thank you. So now at this point, I'm like, okay, Bye Mads is singing on this. I only have some oohs and ahs in the second chorus if you really listen. But I was like, okay, I want to sing in this though in my producer way. And the way I always think about make a song sing as a producer is you need to have a moment in the song that is showcasing your production decisions over just making this track. So what I did was I resampled her vocals and chopped it up and really focused on this kick situation. So bear with me.
Stuck in these four walls of this I could ever ask for.
Vocals, right? Then we got this. Right, and this part's really cute because this little guy right here is quite literally me playing her voice. So we got this. Right, cute. I like sent her a video of me like on my drum pad, like check this out, and she was like, "You're crazy," and I'm like, "I know." Sick. And then the final thing I'll say is like, so remember that like this bass sample we had right at the beginning. This. Remember when I was saying I sounded like an elf from Snow White? Same with this, right? It's like this. It's kind of like okay, but. So fast forward, it's New Year's 2023, 2024. I'm hanging out with a friend and a friend of a friend by the name of Dario Bizio. He's a classically and jazz-trained upright bassist who's touring with LeVay. He's very goated. And I played him the demo on the way to the rave, and it was like in the backseat, and he was like, I like it. And I was like, ugh. And the next day, I text him, I'm like, hey, dude, can I have like 8 minutes of your time? Can you just like use this bass reference and just, track out whatever you feel is right, and I'll make it work. Okay, so then fast forward a month later, it's February 2024. I'm in New York meeting Bye Mads for the first time in person. So cute. And he sends me back these bass stems. He took 2 takes. You see neck hair take 2, neck hair, there's some take 1 somewhere. And this boy. I encourage you to listen to the song and specifically listen to the bass the whole way through because he takes the same core progression but then dances around it. Like there's this moment like... And he was a little jazzy at times, I quantized it at times, but otherwise he just walked up and down it, and we got this track. Wait, let me take this off. Cleaner, my bad.
Stuck in these four walls of lost
and then I put it out, and I have a mixtape coming this summer. This is really the only dancey track on this EP. The other is kind of like to sit down and astral project to, but this EP is very much for the girls, gays, and theys. It's very pride, it's very club. So yeah, stay looped in for that, but that's neck hair.
Catching you fall, we rise and stand tall. Return to falling back. I lay my head on ice. And when I'm stressed, I put my hand on trays. 'Cause you're the best I could ever ask for.
Give it up for FINGY one more time. All right, all right. Now, we've had such a wonderful show tonight. Thank you guys so much for your attention this evening. We don't need the visuals right now. I'm a visual enough for you. No, seriously, you guys have made my homecoming. It's been such a warm welcome home. I can't thank you enough. I'm so emotional. It feels so good to be back in Chicago. I also want to say, I know I've been digging on London. I really do enjoy my time there. It's been a wonderful opportunity to be in a new city that's global. I'm surrounded by so many wonderful people, different people from different backgrounds, and I'm learning a lot in graduate school. And I'm so excited to announce that we're going to be doing our first ever AMFM Live in London. Yes. Yes. We're bringing it to the Hoxton in Southwark in June. So hopefully we can find a way so you guys can watch it live. It'll be a completely different time zone though, so it might be very, very late, but we're so excited to be doing that and share some London-based artists with you all as well too. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm committed to, and AMFM is committed to keeping you in the know of what fun, creative artists and events are popping off across the city and across the pond on a weekly basis. So make sure that you tune in with us so that you can stay in tune with the artists as well. Big thank you to our sponsors working from the Hoxton. Again, thank you so much for having us here. Make sure that you chat with their staff to find out more about getting your very own Working From membership so that you can come back, join the mailing list, come back to the Hoxton, frequent the spaces. It's a pretty amazing space. And many thank yous to Red Bull for sponsoring our music acts, so our DJ and FINGY who are here tonight. And Red Bull has a new initiative that I want to tell you about as well too that they sent over to me to let you guys know about. It is a Wings for Life World Run. It's a global race with a unique sense of fun and purpose with people across the globe running at the same time until a moving finish line finally captures everyone. It's in pursuit of a cure for spinal cord injuries. There's going to be a worldwide app run as well as a flagship run in Chicago happening on Sunday, May 4th. You can find more information at wingsforlifeworldrun.com. So make sure you tap into that because it's for a great cause. And Red Bull's been doing some amazing work as well too. So shout out to our other sponsors, Stomping Grounds and Elgin and the crew for doing the live streaming tonight as well. Also our showrunner, Dom, our AMFM assistant, Baradu Ahmed. Yes. And of course, our guests for tonight, Lindsay Adams, Sheila Rashid, FINGY, and of course, to our Prosecco Poppy, the ShamPain Wishes, who's going to close us out tonight with some more vibes. I'll see you at Expo, and maybe I'll see you in London, and I'll surely see you around the room tonight. So thank you so much for coming. Good night. Thank you.
Hey. We got a kid in this motherfucker.
Can I get FINGY, Sheila,
and
Lindsay up here to take a photo before we get into the crowd?
No kickback. Swear you niggas act like bitches with y'all bitch ass and I be cheating first. I ain't got time to get no lick back. I be on that dumb hoolie with my rich friends tryna see if I'ma get this nut before this back end. Soon as shit ain't adding up, I'm subtracting. I don't like it when the math ain't mathing. And it still fuck you niggas with a passion. I hate I even gave you niggas pussy. I'm gagging. They can't even eat the pussy, don't be lasting. Niggas really don't have money, they be acting. He was used to fucking with an average, then he ran into a total package. Used to fucking bitches that ain't had shit.